for tonight, to the best of my recollection. I don't remember much of you, but I do remember dying for just a kiss. One kiss, your kiss. I hungrily stared at your intriguing lips, starving for an experience I had not yet had, but was certain I'd enjoy. You made me wait for it, and it was well worth it. I don't recall much of you, but I do recall how a hug from you instantly caused my hips to salivate in ways no other could. It was just a hug, an innocent hug, but it was your magical hug that weakened my knees and my composure. Our chemistry was crazy, and your hugs made my body even crazier. I don't recollect many things, but I remember our first time. I remember my feet stomping on the ceiling of your SUV because we just couldn't wait any longer. We had to know each other, and no other moment was worth waiting for. That winter night was perfectly awkward and awkwardly perfect as we contorted ourselves in that tight parking spot until our spots were sated. I don't try to relive much, but with every full-size mirror I pass, I get pulled back into a time to refeel the sensations caused by that icy cold glass, juxtaposed with the heat our bodies produce while pressed against it. Yeah, I remember that maneuver well. Well, I've never re-experienced it. I hope to. I don't quite remember all the circumstances that led to us being late to that meal with your friends, but I remember pressing you against the door with my full force and taking my more that you so willingly offered up. We may have just been glowing during that dinner that night after that quick interlude that was truly memorable. I do recall the other times that we were so caught up in the throes of passion that we didn't hear the key. You ran to protect my dignity by barricading the door while all I could do was grab a pillow for protection. We laughed for days about how that steamy session became a story for the records. And do you remember that hotel excursion we took? We were both nervous about the venue, but that quickly passed as your teeth removed stockings and inhibitions. Your hands, tongue, and body treating me like an experiential museum exhibition. That was a truly delightful stay, though we really needed more hours that night. It was also that night that Netflix and chill became Netflix and peel, close off, and scream. Never before or since have I ever screamed so loudly. Screams radiated from deeper than my diaphragm, and I don't recall the movie anymore, but I do know I was left sore and hoarse. It was a small price to pay, my extreme pleasure to ensure our pleasure. And what about that night that we lost counting all the peaks reached? Your goal was to break records. You broke that and my back and almost the bed. I shiver and quiver, still thinking about the quaking you had me doing. That I most certainly recall, and with hot flashes, I flash back to that moment from time to time. Time has passed, memories have faded. I don't recall it all, but yeah, I do remember you.